Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is 11 a.m. It is November the 24th. It is Friday, and it is my wife's birthday today. So happy birthday, wife. We've got a busy day today. We're going to mainly focus on the main altcoins and Bitcoin. We're not going to do too many altcoins today or anything like that. We're going to take a look at a $1 million Bitcoin. We're also going to take a look at the $40,000 Bitcoin, which I have been saying for a few weeks. We're then going to look at the poor individual that paid $3.1 million in fees for a Bitcoin transaction yesterday or the day before. We're going to look at Ethereum. We're going to take a look at Link. We haven't looked at Link for a few weeks. It's one of my favorite projects. Full disclosure, of course, I hold Link. We're then going to take a little look at El Salvador, what's going on over there. And then finally, we're going to have a look at NFT adoption. It's not quite NFT adoption. It's what this expert thinks is going to lead to adoption in the very near future. So as always, it's going to be a busy show. So what I'd like you to do as we're going through the show is smash the like button and give us a follow. Remember, the more likes that you drop, the more boxes that I drop. We have red envelopes as well that we give out. We're going to be giving the red envelopes out at 11:15. Gives people time to get to the stream, connect, and then be ready for me to drop the red envelopes. What's in a red envelope? Crypto. What's in the red boxes? Crypto. We give crypto away every single stream that we do on this channel. Currently, we're operating 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday. We do have Sundays off at the moment, but you never know. Over the Christmas period, as things ramp up, especially as we get towards the halving, we might go to 7 days a week. So that's it. That's the intro to the show. I, of course, am Mike, and as you know, I am with you nearly every morning. Good morning, Jib Chormo. Good morning, Tariq. Thank you. I will pass on the message to my wife. I'm sure she will appreciate it. I have mentioned you in the past. Good morning, C7. Good morning, Suralam. Welcome, everybody, to the show. And we're having a bit of a pump this morning, which is nice to see. So let's get into the markets. Let's see where we are. Let's look at the winners and the losers before we get into the news. We've got a lot to get through, so I'm going to try and stay on top of it today. First of all, market cap. Let me refresh this. There we go. The market cap is $1.43 trillion. We're almost at $1.5 trillion. Remember, my target for crypto in the next bull cycle is 6 to 9 trillion. Yes, it's a wide range, but that would be a 4 to 6x from where we are now. That's what I'm looking at. Volume is down quite a lot, actually. Volume is down below 40 billion. That's unusual for a Friday morning. Bitcoin dominance is making its way up. ETH dominance is making a resurgence. Could that be to do with the BlackRock news? Potentially. 50 and Ethereum looks to have broken $2,100. Remember, it's good to back the big horses at this stage in the cycle. If you've been building bags of different tokens, now is the best time to be accumulating them. Over the last 6 months, it's been good to be getting into XRP, to ADA, to Solana, to Ethereum especially, and of course Bitcoin. So it's good to accumulate. But to see a 2100 Ethereum is really quite bullish on a Friday. Now, if we take a look at what has been gaining, Blur has gone to the moon already. Mina is up. Fetch AI. I mentioned Fetch. I said 50 cents would be a good price to get into Fetch. I have got another video. If you go back over the live streams that we've done and look at yesterday's video, I did the TA on Fetch. So after the show, if you're interested in buying AI tokens, my main pick is Fetch. My second is Singularity. So go back and have a look. The market cap is really starting to creep up. This is a $1 billion coin. That's not being overly bullish and moon boyish. I'm not saying it's a 20 billion or a 50 billion coin, but it is certainly at least a 1 or 2 billion coin in the near future. It's already up at 455 million. So Fetch is a big pick for me. It's a serious coin. It's a little bit like Link in terms of it does the dirty work in the background. It's not something that's going to be retail facing. So big one for Fetch. Gas is up, DYDX. Sui is up. We've covered Sui. Sui is a good project. It has a massive team behind it. It needs adoption. Without adoption, Sui is going nowhere. But I do like that coin. And the graph, I'm not a huge fan of the graph, but we did cover it yesterday. And that is going to do well. I don't think there's going to be too many losers today. No, I didn't think there would be. FTT is down for the second day running. Remember what I said yesterday, don't buy FTX token. There is no such exchange as FTX. People are buying it on speculation that when FTX2 launches, this token will be used. I have read nothing anywhere that this token will have anything to do with the exchange. Celestia is starting to come down. I have been saying since over $6 that Celestia is due a pullback. It's currently down under $6. Thorchain is having a small pullback. Immutable X is having a small pullback, as is Audi. So that's your gainers and your losers in the last 24 hours. As you can see, it's a good day. It's a good day for the markets. Bitcoin, I think, is going to try and have a run at 38,000. I thought it was going to have a run at 38,000 yesterday, and it didn't. Let's see if it can break 37.7, 37.8 and have a crack at 38,000 today. I'm still bullish on a $40,000 Bitcoin in the near future, and that's just basically where I think we're going to go in the near term. I was watching some way more experienced traders and streamers than me yesterday, and they were predicting $49,000, $48,000, $46,000. That's a big move for me by the end of the year. We've only got 5 weeks left. Do I think we're going to go up 50% in that time or 35% in that time? I don't think so. I think 40,000 is a more realistic target. We are only 5% away from that. That's one God candle. So I think 40,000 is on the cards. But as always, do not just take my word for it. There are plenty of other people to look at out there. Now, we're going to move on and we're going to look at this $1 million Bitcoin. I first heard this mentioned about 4 or 5 months ago when people were talking about what price is Bitcoin going to go to in the future. Not 2025, more 2030, 2032. Where is Bitcoin going to go? Some people are saying 500,000, some people are saying 300,000. This $1 million Bitcoin, eventually it will be proven right, and there will be a $1 million Bitcoin. That is a 25 to 30x from where we are now. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but let's go through it anyway. It's always good to get everybody's opinions on things and then make your own conclusion. I think one of the things that's wrong in the world at the minute is that people do not want to hear the other side's point of view. And I think if you're going to be a trader, if you're going to be in crypto, if you're going to build a portfolio, the one thing you cannot do is fall into confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is where you buy a bag of XRP, for example, and then you start to follow the XRP community and the XRP Twitter account and the XRP Discord because you have confirmation bias. Everybody around you is going to suffer from the same groupthink. They're all going to be massively pro XRP. What you need to do with all tokens, including Bitcoin, is you need to look at both sides of the story. What's wrong with the Bitcoin project? Are there any vulnerabilities? Is there anything on the horizon that can affect the price? Always try and look at everybody's opinion on things. You don't have to agree with it. Most of the things I cover on here I don't necessarily agree with, but I still cover it because it's important to see what other people have to say. So don't just watch me and listen to me. Go and watch Ben Cowan, or go and watch Altcoin Daily. Go and watch other people streaming on this platform to get their opinions. And that allows you to make your own educated decisions on what you're going to do moving forward. So let's have a look at this. Bitcoin may not reclaim $40,000 despite increasing excitement over an ETF. In recent analysis, crypto market participants have started to reconsider just how bullish the ETF narrative really is for Bitcoin price action. The dust continues to settle. We know about this. At the same time, commentators began to suggest The enforcement action was a timely move to pave way for the ETF. It could come. I think the deadline is January 2024. Nonetheless, not everybody sees an approval resulting in a snap Bitcoin parabolic reaction. Among them is Bitcoin Jack. I said 42k. Not sure we'll get there anymore. Expected any rumor on a resolution. We know about that. He said $30,000 may come back into play. Now, if you remember last week, my apocalyptic target for Bitcoin is 30,400 to 30,700. I'm going to show you on the charts what I'm talking about in a minute. But that's my apocalyptic target. That's a black swan move. Now, in the past, the black swans have brought us down 20%, 30%. A black swan event could hit 30,000, but look what's happened this week. We've had huge, monumental news has happened, and we are now back above where we were before the news. So I'm not sure, even if we do have a black swan event, that this is going to cause a drop to 30,000. But 30,400, that's my line in the sand. That's where I don't think we're going to go below. Other recent forecasts are maintaining the low 30s. We're not going to look at that. In his most recent social media survey, Philb, co-founder of Decentrader, asked followers whether Bitcoin could hit 40 or 30,000. Of course, we are at a 50-50 split. People do not have magic crystal balls. So in an X post, he suggested that Bitcoin could not only hit $1 million per coin as a result of the approval, but that hodlers were mistaken in predicting any less. Again, sometimes I do think people make these titles just for the clickbait. And, you know, everybody who makes videos does the same thing. It's all about clickbait. There's no way Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million. They're in for a pleasant surprise. I think this could be tongue-in-cheek. So 37,500 is where we are now. I think 40,000. $1 million is on the cards for me in maybe 2 cycles' time. So maybe not 2025, maybe not 2029, but maybe 2033 is when we're going to see that $1 million Bitcoin. That's on the cards for me. That's where I think we're going to go. But before we go on to have a look at the gas fees, we're going to have a quick look at the charts, because again, not a lot has happened since yesterday. But I have to bear in mind that probably the same people that were watching me yesterday aren't here today, apart from the regulars. So you have to bear with me. Now, I have drawn various levels on this chart. As you can see, this is my worst case scenario, which is at 30,800. We can go back over time and see that this has acted as resistance in the past. We have history at that price. That's why I always try and look back in time to see where we've been, and 30,800 is a good level of support for us as far as I can see. If we go and have a look at this channel, this upward channel that we've been moving in, I have another level down here, which I thought we could hit if the news became, you know, if there was any minor bearish news, and that's 35,400. That's, again, what's that, 5% from where we are? We're at 37,600 today. We're $2,400 away from 40,000, which is here. So if you look at this trajectory that we're in, we could stay in this channel for the end of the year. That's one possibility. Alternatively, as I said yesterday, we could break out, hit 40,000 and get rejected. That's a possibility, and then that would bring us back down to just below or just about where we are now. So maybe we're going to have a couple of runs at 40,000. It all depends on the news, all depends on what happens. If unemployment starts to go up, if inflation starts to come down, there could be a movement that does this, and maybe we kind of do this before breaking through. Maybe we don't do it in one fell swoop. Maybe we do it in 2 or 3, but it is a matter of time for us to break $40,000. I don't think, if we look further up, I don't think we're going to get up towards this target before the end of the year. This is a massive, massive, massive move. It's going to be a 35% move. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. So 40,000 is on the cards for me. In terms of bullish and bearish, what I have been looking at for the last few weeks is we've looked at an awful lot of bearish divergence, and it just hasn't been playing out. So it doesn't have to play out, and it's not a golden, it's not a golden tick that it has to play out. But we haven't seen it. We have seen moves, but the moves have been within this range. So yes, although we have seen a few peaks, we've had a run at 38,000 a few times. We've bounced obviously down here at 36,000. We're still in this range, and now I'm seeing these channels everywhere. So I'm not saying I was the first person to draw this channel. I certainly wasn't, but now I'm starting to see it on everybody's videos. I'm starting to see it all over crypto Twitter. So that's just validation that this is where we are. We're moving up slowly. We're putting in higher lows. What we need to do is potentially put in a higher high. So if you look here, these are higher highs. This isn't a higher high. This is a lower high. So we're kind of in a situation now where we need to put in a higher high. A higher high would be 38,500, for example. That would be a higher high for us. So all in all, going into the weekend, I am fairly bullish, and I've been fairly bullish most of October and certainly most of November, because I just think anybody that's going to try and short from anywhere in this range here is going to get wrecked, and anyone that tries to long at 40,000 is going to get wrecked. So just bear that in mind. I think Bitcoin is a matter of time before it gets to 40,000, and it's just a waiting game as far as I'm concerned. It's a waiting game from now on. Now we're going to get on to have a look at this. There is also some talk that maybe somebody is going to pay this user back. We don't know who it is. We just know the wallet address. So Antpool received the block that got the $3.1 million. Let me just basically move down here. Okay, so somebody paid $3.1 million in transaction fees for a Bitcoin transfer on Thursday. Antpool mined the block, and it received the standard 6.25 Bitcoin, as well as 85 Bitcoin in fees for that block. Now, it's the biggest transaction fee ever on Bitcoin, 85 Bitcoin. The transaction itself was only 140 Bitcoin. So he only received 55 Bitcoin. He paid 85 in fees. There was, of course, this other example which happened, and we covered at the time. This was back in September. We covered this at the time. And it's one of those things where, what do? You're a miner. You're in the business of trying to make money. It is not your responsibility to decide how much the fees are. If this person has paid 85 Bitcoin, then the only real, the only real thing you can do is appeal to somebody's better judgment. It's not morally wrong. It's not legally wrong. There's nothing wrong with what happens. This is how the system works. He's paid 85 Bitcoin. Maybe he thought he was paying 0.85. Maybe he had fat fingers. Who knows? Or she had fat fingers. Who knows? But an 85 Bitcoin transaction fee on a 140 Bitcoin transaction is absolutely insane. And we've seen this in the past as well, especially with NFTs. I've seen NFTs, especially Bored Ape NFTs, in the height of their popularity. Instead of selling it for, 60 Ethereum, it was sold for 6 Ethereum, or it was sold for 0.6 Ethereum. Those things do happen, and sometimes, just sometimes, they get their money back. Other times, they don't, of course. So, who knows if this person's going to get their money back? But I just think when you send transactions from the exchange that you're on, you know what you're paying. If you send Bitcoin from this address to your cold storage wallet, whatever it might be, you know you're going to pay $10, $12. You know that. When you go to non-custodial wallets, which are the MetaMasks and the Phantoms of this world, you have to keep an eye on those fees. You have to understand how fees work, how slippage works, especially on Ethereum. Ethereum is notorious for telling you you can pay more for the transaction to go through faster. So just make sure, if you ever look at those things, just send a test transaction. If you're going to send 1 Bitcoin from A to B, send 0.01 Bitcoin to start with, just to get the process right, and make sure you've put the correct address in, and then send the 0.99 Bitcoin. Yes, you have to pay 2 transaction fees, but it's better to be safe than lose your entire Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever else it might be. So I think that is pretty much on the Bitcoin news. We've got some price targets from the experts. I've given you the chart. We've looked at an incredible fee paid. Now we're going to move on to Ethereum. As we've just seen on the stream, just as we went live, Ethereum broke through 2,100. Now, also, one thing that I have forgotten to do is I am going to drop some red crypto. So give me 1 second to drop this into chat, and you can all go and claim some free crypto. And remember, as you're claiming this, the 2 things you can do to help us out, which are completely free, is you can follow us and you can smash the like button. Both of those things help us dramatically on these streams. It helps us to build our reputation and all of that kind of stuff. Plus, it's free. All it takes is 3 or 4 seconds of your time to smash the like buttons. So if you bear with me, I'm going to drop them now. I am 5 minutes late on dropping them, but I have got ahead of myself somewhat. Just give me a second. Good morning, Trading for a Living. Good morning, Melody. Thank you for joining the stream. I hope you are all doing well today. I know we are. 1 second. All right, just bear with me. I'm going to put the stream on pause for 2 seconds. I just need to go and log in to one of the platforms. Won't be a second. There we go. Okay, so everybody should now have the red envelopes. Remember, if you are watching somewhere that isn't one of our platforms, down below in the description, you're going to see a link that will take you to the platform where we give away free crypto on every single stream. So make sure to click on those links. It will take you to us on those platforms and you will be able to claim the free crypto. And if you are watching, make sure to smash the like button, give us a follow, subscribe, all those good things. Now, let me get on with the news. We're doing okay for time, I think. So Ethereum price reclaims $2,000 as data shows a surge in network activity. Despite regulatory action, a surge in the Ethereum network activity and the expectation of a spot ETF has fueled the price above $2,000. And if we go back to the charts, we have just got to $2,100 this morning, and I don't know if it's going to hold on to it, but it's still nice to break that target. The uptrend can be attributed to improved decentralization apps metrics, increased protocol fees, and the dominance in the NFT market. To assess whether Ether can sustain its 2,000 price point, one must consider the repercussions. Please, we can't mention that on here. So, Bitcoin leads it in Ether spot trading volume, accounting for 30% of ETH futures. I can't read that either. Okay, let me try and get through some of this. I've got to be respectful of the platforms we're streaming on. So I don't want to have certain words on the screen while I'm streaming. So assessing the Ethereum network's health, Ethereum dApps achieved a total value locked of $26 billion, which I believe is what? That's going to be about 12% of the total, it's 10% of Ethereum's total supply. A hack significantly impacted DYDX, resulting in a 16% decline in the protocol's deposits. We know about that. So Ether's market cap is 248 billion. We know it trails behind Bitcoin. Bitcoin is number one. It's the big bear in the room. That's fine. We know about that. Ethereum also reclaimed its leadership position in NFT sales, $12.6 million in transactions within 24 hours. So what we're starting to see with Ethereum, let me bring up the Ethereum chart, actually. What we're starting to see with Ethereum is we've had quite a lot of a lull with Ethereum. It's kind of dropped up. The fees have dropped. The network usage have dropped. We've switched from a deflationary Ethereum into a slight inflationary Ethereum. So what we've seen is somewhat of a slowdown. But what we have seen very recently is we have seen an uptick in all activity to do with DeFi, NFTs, and they are the green shoots of recovery for Ethereum and of course for crypto. Remember, although Bitcoin is number one in terms of price, in terms of market cap, Ethereum really is the marketplace, and it really has the majority of liquidity, of volume, of activity. Everything goes through Ethereum. Now, looking at the price action, we held this channel for some time, and then we broke up towards this $2,100 mark. We've tested it again here. Now, what did we do, which was quite interesting? We came back down and tested this fib level at 1915. We found support, and now we are back at exactly the same price we have been on two previous occasions. Now, remember, of all the crypto, for me, Ethereum is the one that pays the most respect to the charts. And you can look at any point, it sits on top of fib levels. It has them as resistance. It gets into channels. It's now bounced twice off this as resistance. It's now pushing up towards 2100. What happens is next we want to get above 2150. So if we can get above 2150 and do some kind of move where we break up here, we come down, we test 2150, then we're going to go in this general direction. That's what's going to happen. If we don't break the level we're at today, look at what's happened in the past. We've had a breakdown. So we've kind of come down here. Again, maybe we come down to this line and we go again towards the end of November. We don't know. I'm not going to predict prices, but I'm just giving you the scenarios. If we can break and hold 2100, then we're going to have another move up, maybe 2150. That's what we want to do. We want to break this level of resistance, turn it into support, and carry on. But for me, because of the NFT news associated with Ethereum, I think that we're going to start to see a move up in the charts. And remember what I said yesterday. This time is different. This bull run is going to be different. And before you sigh and say, you've heard that before, you heard that last time, and you heard that the time before, hear me out. The two things that are fundamentally different this bull run. Number one, the Bitcoin ETFs. Number two, Ethereum is proof of stake. It is not proof of work any longer. Those two single facts make a massive difference to two things. The supply of Bitcoin is going to be reduced and the demand is going to go through the roof. Ethereum, the more activity the Ethereum network has, what happens? It becomes deflationary. Ethereum has gone from an inflationary proof of work coin to a deflationary proof of stake coin. So this time it is different. Don't get me wrong. In what are we now? 2025. In 2029, I'm going to say the same thing again. This time it's different. I'm not saying it's going to be wholly different. I'm not saying we're going to go to a $30 trillion market cap. What I'm saying is that the fundamentals are not the same. We can't go like for like. We can't use diminishing returns in this bull run simply because the rules have changed. The rules have changed. We have less Ethereum to go around. We have less Bitcoin to go around and more demand. It's going to change the game. Now, it will change the game in one respect this bull run. It might change in the next bull run with a different aspect. But we can only use the past as an indicator. We can't use it as gospel. I've got a 1.6 multiplier that I think the price of Bitcoin will go up by. I've said it before, I've said it 1,000 times, $105. $105,000 is my target for Bitcoin. But that's not based on the Bitcoin ETF. Now, Ethereum is proof of stake. Let's say towards the end of next year or the beginning of the year after, BlackRock, Vanguard, and ARK Invest and the rest of them are all given Ethereum ETFs. What's going to happen to them? We could be looking at a $10,000, $12,000 Ethereum. I've been looking at some predictions for Ethereum of $30,000 to $36,000 for an Ethereum. That's a bit high for me. I mean, what's that, a 15, 16x from where we are now? I mean, that's a lot of money coming into Ethereum to do that. So I think conservatively, my target would be $10,000 to $12,000. That's a 5 to 6x from where we are now. Bitcoin, I'm expecting maybe a 3 to 4x. So Ethereum is going to catch up, and that's what happens in the bull run. Bitcoin has its blow off top. Ethereum comes second. Alt season comes next, and then the NFTs come after that. So expect a different and more magnified impact of the ETF applications for Ethereum, and the fact it's proof of stake, and the fact that the more demand picks up over the next 2 years, we're going to see maybe a 1% deflation in Ethereum every year. Well, within 5 years, that's 5% less supply. So actually, Ethereum is becoming more scarce than Bitcoin over time. And that can only be a good thing for the price of Ethereum, and only be a good thing for the bags of Ethereum that I'm hoping you all hold. Now, let's crack on with the next article, and this is to do with Link. Again, we haven't covered Link for a while. I'm a big fan of Link. Obviously, as I said at the start of the show, I hold Link in my portfolio, and the reason I hold it is I love the concept of Link and what Link does. Everything about Chainlink for me spells success, and it's getting to the point now where I think Link is becoming slightly too big to catch. What I mean by that is, everybody talks about an ETH killer. We've had ETH killers for 6 years. Nothing's come close. What's going to kill Chainlink? Pyth? Pyth is $500 million market cap. Maybe it will take some share of the market. But Chainlink, for me, has been working behind the scenes solidly for so long that it's built up such an unassailable lead that I think it's going to become a de facto blockchain in the future. So don't fade Link. We're going to go through the prices in a minute. I'm going to tell you where I think the prices could go. There is an accumulation range. We've had a big blow off top of Chainlink. I'm going to give you the accumulation range, which you think you could dollar cost average into. So Chainlink has emerged as a standout performer. It stands at $14.74 at the time of writing. Its unique role as a decentralized Oracle network has propelled it into the spotlight. Now, obviously on the horizon, we've got lots and lots of bullish news to do with Link. My most anticipated news that I can't wait is for staking. You'll be able to stake your Link. That will then pay you, I believe, about 3 to 4% annualized income on your Link if you stake. So that's something that I can't wait for, because again, that gives you more Link for your money. So over time, your average price of Link is going to come down slowly. That can only be a good thing. Chainlink's decentralized architecture ensures that the data feeding into smart contracts is accurate. We don't need to go through the absolute details of Chainlink. So this is the key. There are anonymous whales that just carry out huge transactions on Link, whether it would be buying or selling. And this has been going on now for 2 years. It's not a new thing that's happened. Link is something you need to have in your portfolio if you're going to have a conservative, non-degen portfolio that's going to have Ethereum in it, Cardano, it's going to have XRP, Bitcoin. Link should be part of your portfolio. It isn't going to 100x, but it is going to move up significantly, and it is a great project. And the more adoption we get, the more XRP and Link and Quant they're going to move up in price and value. So the whale transactions, we don't need to talk about that. Chainlink is continually advancing with new partnerships and tech. These developments improves Chainlink's technical capabilities and expand its utility. Expanding the utility, of course, just means, from my point of view, the more utility a blockchain or a service has, the more usage the coins will get, the more fees will be paid, the more churn you have on the supply. And that's always a good thing. You look at Ethereum. Ethereum slows down. When there's no activity, it becomes inflationary. The fees fall, everything becomes slower and less active. When we get in towards the bull run, it becomes deflationary. Gas fees go up. Gas fees then get paid out. A percentage gets burned, but then a percentage gets minted and paid out to the people that stake their Ethereum to validate the network. It goes for every chain. It's simple supply and demand. And for me, the more chains that Link is connected to, the more value it can add to other chains, the more value it inherently gains from being part of those chains. So Chainlink's decentralized oracles are critical in bridging the gap between the blockchain and the real world, enabling the execution of smart contracts based on real-time events and data. This is very, very important. So let's go down to the very end before we get onto the price. So the prospects look bright, market cap and price performance indicating a strong upward move. However, it must navigate challenges, network scalability, evolving regulatory frameworks to maintain its growth momentum. I'm not going to go through the list of companies that Chainlink is connected to, but they are tier one companies. They are the Visas, the MasterCards, the banks of this world. We're not talking about Chainlink scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to find partners. We're talking about main players, not just in crypto, but in finance, in transactions, in payments. Now, let me bring up, we're at 37,800. We're doing pretty well. Now, we are at, let me bring this line down, actually. Let's bring this line down. Look at where we are now. We are on, this is Bitcoin, by the way. We are back at that level that we need to break. So break this, hold it as support, and we are off to the races. So if you've got your Bitcoin, hold it close to your chest and don't let go. Now, let me go and bring up Link. One of the biggest problems with TradingView is that the URL doesn't change when you switch between coins. It's really irritating. So this is where we are with Chainlink. We had this huge movement. So let's go back a little bit, maybe go to the daily chart just so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so for a long time, we spoke about Link being in this range between $5.60 and $9.30. Again, I'm not going to draw the lines, but it was in here from July last year all the way up to October. So that's a 15-16 month period where you could pretty much long, short, long, short, long, short, and just do this and make an absolute killing on Link for 15 months. Now what have we done? We've broken up to this area here, which is previous levels of support, and we are sitting and we've bounced off this line. Now bear in mind, I didn't draw this line today. This line has been on this chart for some time. Now look how close we came to that line. We have bounced here off previous levels of support. I'm trying to think of a good analogy to explain what previous levels of support are. It's like a level of confidence that you have in that price. Because it's been used as support in the past, there is a level of confidence that that price is going to hold. And that's what is important. So we have just bounced off it. Now, one of the targets I was going to say for Link was going to be this fib level here at 12.55. This was going to be the area that I was going to talk about today. Now, obviously, we are moving again. We're moving up. Bitcoin is going to move up. Whatever I show you, it's going to make no difference if Bitcoin pumps to the upside. It's going to make no difference. But just bear in mind that the target, the longer term target, is 1850. Again, that's based on previous prices. 1850, and then we're going to look at psychologically trying to get to $20. But in the shorter term, if we do have a retracement, and let's say we do come down to here, we have this level here again. So forget the fib level at 20. That's a good level to start DCAing in, $20.50. But if we do come down to $11, where we've had previous price action, then that makes this range here the area to accumulate, which is between about, let's say, $10.50 and $12. Let's say that range is your area of accumulation. Now, we don't have a crystal ball. We could be heading into a recession in America. Everything could go to the wall. I'm not saying that we're going to go up and right for the next 2 years solidly. We're going to have retracements, and retracements are where you can start to dollar cost average in. So if we do get a break up, we're going to break up to $18.50 and then maybe $20. But again, if we do get up here, this is a good area to take profits. So I was buying my Link at the start of this year. So about here, I was buying at $5.70 because I've set up a different portfolio at the start of the year. So $5.70. Now, if I'm following my own advice and we get to $18, I've 3x'd in a year. I should take some profits at this level. Maybe when it gets to $16, $17, I should take some profits. Why? Not because I don't believe in the project, but I believe we could see this kind of price action. And we come back down to this area of liquidity and activity down here. So maybe I sell it here, maybe I sell some here, and I take a little bit of profits. But at some point, there's going to be a retracement. There's always a retracement when coins have such big moves up. And that's when you can then buy more Link for the same value. So you sell at $18 to $20 and you buy in at maybe 13 to 15 or 12 to 15 or 11 to 13, whatever price you decide. But Link for me has been working in the background for so long that now the news is starting to come back out. I'm not certain that we're going to ever come back to the $5 to $8 range. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we've got too many areas. We've got the fib level here. We've got this price level here. And then if we fall through that, we've got this line that's moving this direction. We've got this price here, which at the minute is sitting at $9.80-ish. There's a few areas we could hit on the way down before we get down to those figures. And it's going to take a monumental crash in world stock markets to bring these things down. So for me, I'm bullish on Link. If we get a retracement and we come down, and let's say we do this, okay, this is the signal to buy because this is showing support. And again, check with Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin doing? Is Bitcoin falling through the floor? Is Bitcoin finding resistance? When Bitcoin finds resistance, when Bitcoin finds support, Link finds support, the RSI is cooling off. That's when you should maybe start to think to accumulate. So have a look at those ranges. But for me, my next target is going to be 1840. 1840 is going to be a good price to try and push onto. It's an aspirational price. And then after that is $20 and we're away to the races. Now, we are absolutely running out of time. So I'm going to skip the last article and I'm just going to talk about El Salvador for a short while. Remember, if you're new here, smash the like button. Give us a follow, subscribe, say hello in chat, let me know you're watching. It's important that we answer your questions and we try and educate as best we can. Listen, there are no experts in the world. There are no people who claim to be an expert and know everything. They tend to be the ones that disappear when the prices go south. So we'll give you our own opinion. We'll tell you what we think. We will try and help you as best we can. And remember, when we get to the bull run, we're going to be the first people to start screaming, take profits. Because it's all well and good buying Link at $5. But if we get to $30, $40, $50 in Link, you need to be taking some profits. 10% here, 10% there. So we're never going to tell you to hold your coins all the way up and all the way down. We're going to tell you to start thinking about a strategy for getting out. In 2 years' time, November 2025-ish is supposed to be the peak of the bull run. That's when Bitcoin's supposed to have its potential blow off top, then Ethereum, and then altcoins. So you want to come out in waves. Bitcoin, then your Ethereum, then any other alts that you've got. Solo Sky, welcome to the stream. Thank you. I hope you're all doing well. We're going to get through this article and then we're going to do the quiz. Remember, it's the wife's birthday today and I've got 15 minutes before I go downstairs and shower her in gifts and make her lots of cups of tea for the day. So let's get on with this. So El Salvador's president, and I'm going to apologize right now for getting his name wrong, Nayib Bukele, is down 8% on his $126 million Bitcoin investment. Again, I ain't concerned about this. He isn't concerned about this. They own 3,120 Bitcoin, and they've bought it at 40,500. So don't worry about that. DJ, welcome to the stream. Remember, if you're here, you want to be following us in the next few weeks because we think Bitcoin's going to hit $40,000 before the end of the month. Now, back to, what should we call him? Let's call him Nayib. It's easier to pronounce than his surname. El Salvador bonds have given investors handsome returns, and Bukele is trying to get the country off its knees. Remember what El Salvador was like 4 or 5 years ago. There were, I believe, somewhere in the region of 30 to 70,000 people involved in the industry of something I'm not going to mention on the stream. He has single-handedly come in, taken over, and cleaned the entire country of these barons, these lords, these criminal types. He's got rid of them all. And he's starting to build the country's infrastructure. He's building schools, hospitals. He's a very, very young man with very, very, I wouldn't call them radical ideas, I'd call them fresh ideas. So does it matter if he has bought Bitcoin at $40,000? Absolutely not. Why? Because as we said at the very start of the stream, in 10 years' time, if Bitcoin is at $1 million, it's a long shot and it's a long way away, he will have 20x'd the money that he has put in for his country. So his $126 million investment will be worth $2.5 billion. It's not difficult to calculate how much of an impact that will have on a country of his size. So I'd say we're running out of time. We've only got 11 minutes left. So what I'm going to do is we're going to say goodbye to those watching on other platforms. What I will say is, if you go to the details below, you will find links to the exchange that I am currently on. If you click that link, it will take you to our platform on those exchanges. Make sure to follow us over there. Make sure to give us a like, say hello, let us know what you're up to. And I'm just going to put this stream on pause for 5 seconds while I turn one of the streams off.